Right, so we've got to remove this flat belt pulley. I've put the knives on there, but I'm just going to try this small puller first. It's a big puller, this one, can't get behind the pulley, there's not enough room. So we'll just take this off. Just try this little puller. It might not take a lot of force to get it off. Okay, so that seems to be moving slowly but surely. It doesn't put a lot of force on this puller, so if you can remove it like this, then you're probably alright. I would say though that someone's definitely broke something off in there. Might just try drilling it. The problem is we're going to need a flat bottom drill or an end mill. An end mill might work. The only problem is this end mill isn't centre cutting, so I need to find a centre cutting end mill of 7/32 in diameter. Right, now we should be able to get a drill down there. Now that's got a flat. It's not like there's any thread in there. Maybe it's a pin or something, who knows? Who bloody knows? There's definitely no threads in there. I've got to be almost through that now. Don't know what is in there. Something. Let's try and see if it'll move again a bit easier. No, it's still tight. We'll keep going. That's got to be deep enough now. Let's see if we can work out what the depth is here. Right, we're 16mm deep there, and that is only, we're only talking roughly, that's only 16mm deep, so we should be onto the top of the key now, in which case there shouldn't be anything holding this tight. Let's just try it. It's freeing up a little bit. No, it's freeing up. Right. Take this off the edge of the table. Oh yeah, it is. Something's definitely what that was then. What is this? The shaft's very rusted somehow. So basically you've got a thread in this side The shaft's got a keyway. Maybe there's a keyway in the pulley. I don't think there is. Did it come out? Okay. So the shaft's got a keyway, and there's a bit of damage on the shaft actually. But the pulley itself hasn't got a keyway. There's no keyway in that pulley. So I'm not. There's the bit. So there was some sort of plug in there. I think it must just be a dowel that sits into the keyway, which is probably why you've got all that damage. So realistically, that's a piece of piss to bore out now, because it won't even be an interrupted cut. But yeah, so interesting approach. But I'll show you the rotor. That's the rotor there, in pretty good nick. It looks like. Oh, there's a bit of damage there actually. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if someone's had this apart before. Doesn't look like it, because the motor itself is in good condition. Yeah. Interesting. So, we can knock this end plate off and we'll get all these bits over to the rewinders, and they're going to have a quick look at just swapping it over to Delta for us.
1, 3 and 5 taken as the mains on this. So 2, 1, 3 and 5 will effectively be what we'll call the beginnings of each phase. And 2,
4 and 6.
2, 4 and 6, exactly, yeah. How did you know?
You just tell him.
will be the start point, or alternatively the other leads out.
This is there, man.
I'm learning here, this is valuable.
Things to know.
2, 4 and 6.
I don't think the guy realised how quite involved it was going to be swapping everything over to single phase.
I'd be lucky to get someone like them, man. That's all that you do.
I know. Well, I would have told him to buy a new motor, I suppose. It would have been a bloody tech thing, wouldn't it?
Does that mean
It won't, not for this. Well, it could have been a tech thing, but this is the Imperial motor, 56.
It's Imperial, yeah.
Yeah, it cost you 300 quid, maybe more.
Yeah.
They used to be to a penny. And any of these motors you get, you should really keep hold of.
Well, I've got loads in the container, but the problem is,
solution?
they're all the other motors, 3-phase motors I've got in the container are 2800 RPM.
Yeah, well, any motors you get on this basis, you should keep hold of. Because the modern ones are total fucking shit.
Yeah.
This is a quality motor by...
Yeah, I mean, you've only got to look at the, how solid.
Yeah.
Like, that's a nice fit, that bearing in there. Look at the machining.
Yeah, no,
It's bloody lovely.
It's quality, yeah. Quality, it's not shite, it's quality.
Does that mean that this also we have to look for a capacity over there?
No, it's just going to run it on VFD.
Oh.
Yeah, that's coming tomorrow, I think.
On a variable speed drive, right?
Yeah. VFD.
Variable frequency.
So you're just removing the varnish.
Exactly, yeah, you've got to.
Yeah.
If you're going to varnish it, if you're going to solder it, we can braze it, or we can solder it. But it'd be better to probably solder it. And you don't need much to get a good joint on it.
No.
Bit of wire. Bit of wire. Bit of skinny wire. And the professors in America were arguing about whether it'll work or not, or how it could be built. And they couldn't come to a conclusion on it. So this Professor Dan Levy, he come to me, he said, Dave, what do you think of this idea? And I said, well, I can build it. I said, and it'll work. And he said, okay, let's have your plans. So I've done out a lot of plans and what have you. Constant frequency, variable speed generator.
Right.
On the surface is not possible, but it is possible. So I've done out some plans and I gave them back to Dan, and Dan went back to America and he gave my ideas to the professors over there. And they said, good. They said, bring that man over. We want to sit down and decide how we're going to build it. And Dan said, well, we'll build it in Ireland. Because he lives in Ireland. I was in Limerick at the time. Living in Ireland at the time, in the 80s. And Dan said, we'll build it in Ireland. But we'll bring him over first. So we'd booked up all the tickets, everything. The university was paying for it to fly to Los Angeles. All right. Meet these fucking professors. And all the tickets were booked, everything. And fucking 12 o'clock at night, one night, before we went, a fucking knock on my door. 2 policemen. All right. One of them fucking armed as well. Right, Mr. Campbell, yes. Mr. Campbell, we believe you have some documents here which belong to, at the moment, the University of Limerick, but are related to work in America. I said, I have. He said, we've come to take them. We want them. You can't have them. NASA had put a fucking security stop on it.
Really?
It was going to be built in America, right? They wasn't going to build it in Ireland. They're going to build this fucking generator.
Well, surely the university in Ireland had the right fucking hump about that then.
They fucking did have the right dump about it, yeah.
Yeah. They probably wanted, the Americans probably wanted the patent on it or
They
something.
wanted the patent on it, yeah. They didn't want anybody else to get.
Well, that's how universities in America get most of their money, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. But I mean, in today's world, you're going back to the 80s here. In today's world, it wouldn't matter, because what I was going to build today, you do with a box of electronics that fucking big.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't. But
No, but the idea is still there.
the idea's still there, Raj, yeah.
This is what you want important, no?
Yeah. But it's obsolete, Raj. The idea is fucking obsolete. Totally obsolete.
Oh, sea fishing.
Yeah. Was it Chinese and all this fucking
Oh, yeah, that's fucking.
Oh, the trawlers or something.
The water bomb in the Filipinos.
So they're not allowed
Do you want
to
another
fish in
can of that, though? It's one of the exclusive for.
That's it. Oh, that's good. Have we got any fucking war over that yet? The Chinese that they're claiming.
Well, they want Taiwan back and all, don't they?
They do, yeah. Yeah, but that's not the end of it. They want Vladivostok back as well.
Where's that? In Russia?
Russia. Used to belong to China. The Russians took it, I don't know, 150 years ago.
Ah, they were another fight then.
Yeah, the Russians.
I've got some. Right, so we're over at the broaching press and we have the flat pulley off of the Kerry lathe. So the motor on the Kerry lathe that we've pulled the star out and made delta, originally, you see it's got 2 holes in this pulley. One's threaded for a grub screw. The other one had some sort of dowel pin. And I can only assume that the dowel pin had a flat ground on the end to suit the 3/16 key weight on the motor shaft, because there's a big ding in the motor shaft, and I drilled out some sort of dowel pin from this hole. So we're going to actually put a proper keyway in it, because there's no keyway in that shaft, in that pulley. So we're putting a 3/16 keyway in. Load that up with. This is just Rocal RTD, works pretty good. So what we'll do is we'll get it started. Jeez. Like so. Always backing off to push the broach the rest of the way through. I hope, anyway. Yes, and we've got a plastic box underneath that's going to be catching the broach and catching all the chips. It's only I think they're rated 3 ton or something like that. They do take a fair bit of force to operate. Can't be really gentle with them. See if that wants to start. It does. Oh, it's taking a cut now. I think that'll do it. By the looks of it, that looks plenty deep enough. That's not half bad, that's pretty good. So I'm just looking down the bore where the grub screw is, and we've hit it good. So no, it wasn't off of where we set it. That's absolutely cock on. We just done that by eye anyway. So that's the finished article. Now we can use a 3/16 keyway on the motor shaft, and I'll show you that now. Right, so this is the motor mounted on the lathe. Beautiful and smooth now. So you can see where there was like, I think it was like a dowel pin with 2 flats ground on the end. So the dowel pin went through the pulley and then resided in the keyway. But it would only have been giving you like 6 mil of engagement. So, or probably less actually. I think this, no, it's about 6 mil that hole. So I'm now just going to clean this up with a little, what do you call these? Like a jeweler's file. And then we will cut a key to suit out of a piece of key steel. So I'm just going to sit on this little drum, get the flat side, and just take out that damage, which is, it's not very much, but it is enough to stop the key steel wanting to slide in. That looks better. Right, where's the key steel? So this is a piece of 3/16 key steel, key stock, I guess you'd call it. And that now kind of wants to fit. No, it does want to fit. Right, so that's a tight fit on the key now, and it fits nicely. So I'm going to cut that at about, yeah, about that long. We'll go and cut that now. Right, so there's a bit of key steel we've just cut. That's going to be a nice fit on the shaft. Let me get it into the right position. Let's get it somewhere near the end. So when you look down inside, you know it's got a key. Slightly further in than that. So beautiful. All right, now, before we go any further, we're going to measure that and make sure it's actually going to fit in the pulley. Should do. 21. I'm looking for rough figures here. 22, just under. Now I don't think it matters which way it goes, but looking at that, I would say the cleaner side was probably outwards. It's tight. Let's try the other way. Just gonna get that little file again. Just make sure we've got no burrs there. Right, so if I'm able to hit that on by hand, it's pretty safe to say that that's a good fit. Hopefully this is long enough. I have got longer. No, that's fine. And we just line it up with the top pulley. Oh, that's not bad. That wasn't a bad guess. So we're just looking for daylight from the top pulley to the lower pulley. Bloody hell, that's pretty much perfect. Anything probably come out slightly. That's bang on. Just to ensure that this top pulley is in line with the bottom one. So now we'll get the grub screw, we tighten the grub screw up against the key. And this is going to be a much stronger system. Now the grub screw is only a dear little thing. I prefer something a bit longer, but since it's Imperial, highly unlikely I'm going to have anything on the shelf. This is what came out of it. So this is what can go in it. That's locked that up. Beautiful. That is good. Give that another quarter of a turn, a little nip. And that is sorted.